What's up, you guys? All right, in the main event, we got Rob Font versus Cody Garbrandt. And we're used to both of these fighters. We've seen them both fight quite a bit. Cody's more of a boxer. You know, he's quick on the feet, quick hands. He had his best performance against Dominic Cruz. But since then, he hasn't looked as great as he did in that fight. You know, he looked like a star in that fight, and it kind of started his path. But other than that, I don't think he's been that good. He's a little chinny as well, and he's almost a negative striker. So he has that not going for him. And he's going to be the 4-year younger man, Cody is, which is kind of surprising to me. But I think he's going to have about half the volume of Rob Font in this fight. And Rob Font, he's a great striker. He's going to have great striking in this fight, I believe. Like I said, double the volume of Cody. And he's got the better record and a 6-inch reach advantage, if I wrote that right. Rob Font is also a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's just more well-rounded than Cody. I think he can catch Cody by mixing it up a little bit more, and even if it goes to the ground, I'm still going to favor Rob Font in this one in a sneaky way, but I think it'll be a striking exchange, and I got Rob Font. All right, in the next fight, we got a co-main event, Xiao versus Carla Esparza. And in this one, I was totally going for Yan all the way. She's got the way better striking. She's almost got 100 strikes a fight. She's got the 2-year youth advantage, the better record, 3 inches height. And, you know, Carla's going to only have about 1/3 of the volume of Yan. She's a great fighter, but she's going to rely on her takedowns, and she's got negative striking. She's kind of a fading star, if you even want to call her a star, when it used to not take as much to be a star and be a woman. But I don't know. Other than the gematria I've looked up, saying the Cookie Monster matches with certain numbers and stuff like that for 522, which is going to be the date. I don't know if you're into that, but that worries me enough to not bet this fight, and I'm going to go ahead and pass because I would have picked Yan, but I'm just going to pass. All right, in our next fight, we got Justin Tafa versus Jared Vanderaa. And Jared Vanderaa, he's not that good. He's got negative striking. He's probably going to have the lower volume here. But what he does have going for him is the 3 to 4 inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Now, Justin Tafa, he's definitely a heavyweight, but he's slightly undersized because he's one of these compact, dense Islander guys. You know, he's probably got thick bones and whatnot. I believe Justin's going to have the better striking here. He's got raw, kind of a street fighter mentality about him. If he can keep the 100% takedown defense, he definitely has star potential. And I think he's going to have just the better, I don't know, I think this is going to take place more like a street fight in a lot of ways. And I think that Justin will just be able to take him in this one. All right, in the next fight, we got a women's featherweight fight, Felicia Spencer versus Norma Dumont. And I see a lot of people picking Felicia Spencer in this one. You know, she's going to try to get the submission. She has the 1-inch reach advantage, but in this fight, she has negative striking, and she's kind of a chunk. I don't think she's that good. I see other people mention her a lot, and she does get mentioned quite a bit, but I think she's overrated, you know. And Norma Dumont's pretty good. She did get chin checked. But she's going to have the better volume, the takedown, and the better striking in this one. And I think Norma Dumont has the potential to be a star. And one thing she does have going for her is a 1-inch height advantage as well in this fight. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Norma Dumont in this one, and I'm going to fade Felicia. All right, in the next fight, we got David DVorak versus Rilian Piba. And, you know, I've picked Piba before, and I regret it, because he's not UFC level. I think he could win some regional fights and whatnot, but I don't know. He just wins a lot of decisions to bums in other leagues. So that's kind of his whole thing. That's how he has such a good record. But in this fight, Piba is going to have the 3-year youth advantage, the 3-inch height advantage, and the 1-inch reach advantage, as well as a better record. But he's going to have negative striking and the lower volume here. And I kind of think he's an upper tier bum. He's like on borderline bum, even though he has a pretty good record. And David DVorak, he's going to have the better striking here and the better volume. And I think he's going to be able to control him being the stronger guy and whatnot. So I'm going to go with DVorak. All right, in the next fight, we got Jack Hermansson versus Edmund Shabazzan. Now, Edmund Shabazzan let a lot of people down, including myself, in his fight to Derek Brunson. But he's going to have a 9-year youth advantage and a 1-inch height advantage. He's got a low volume, but it's skewed because he does get to finish quite a bit. He does have negative striking now, but he's going to have the takedown advantage here. Even though Jack, he's no stranger to the ground, man. He's no stranger. If anything, he wants it to go to the ground so he could submit you in an unorthodox way. Jack Hermansson's got strange technique, but I like it. He's got the better striking here. He's got the submission threat here and the 3.5 reach advantage. You know, Jack Hermansson's kind of a fading prospect or a potential star. You know, he's kind of on the lower end of becoming a star now. And Edmund Shabazzan is kind of on the upper end of that if he plays his cards right and he beats Jack here. So this is going to be an interesting fight. I think that Jack's going to be a little bit more wild and ready, and I think it's going to intimidate the young lion a little bit in Edmund Shabazzan. And I don't think Edmund has as much heart as Jack does, so let's go with the Joker on this one. All right, that's the main card. All right, in the prelims, we got Ricardo Ramos versus Bill Algie. And Ricardo Ramos, he is a guy who looked like he was going to be good, but he's not as good as he looks. Ricardo's going to have the takedown and submission threat here, but he's going to have the way lower volume, like a fourth the volume of Bill Algie. And Bill Algie is going to have the better striking in general, according to the differential, and all of the physical advantages, including youth, height, and reach. So with Ricardo being chinny and a negative striker, I'm going to have to go with Bill Algie in this one, and I'm fairly confident in that pick. All right, in the next fight, we got Ben Rothwell versus Chris Barnett. And I'm going to make this one easy. Usually when a guy doesn't have a pitcher, they just don't win. And it's because of a lot of things, but they haven't had the build-up, and that just naturally goes with that. Chris is going to have the 5-year youth advantage, but everything else basically goes to Rothwell. And both of these guys have negative striking at this point, but I just think Ben's going to knock him out. I really do. I just think he's too big and too experienced. Ben. All right, in the next fight, we got Court McGee versus Claudio Silva. And, Court McGee's been in there, and he's been on the wrong end of so many decisions. If anybody gets robbed, it's probably him. Versus Claudio Silva. And Claudio Silva's looked good. He's overrated with the other people, I would say, because so many people like this guy, and he's got almost negative striking. He's got the takedown and submission, and he mixes it up well, but I don't know. I see a little bit of quit in him as well, in Claudio. Not a lot, not anything like Aljo or anything like that, but I sense just a little bit of quit in Claudio, like I don't really want to do this anymore. And I think that Court McGee's going to have the better striking here, the better volume, the 2-year youth advantage somehow, and a 4.5 reach advantage. But Court McGee is a loser magnet, so I'm going to pass on this one. All right. In the next fight, we got Bruno Silva versus Victor Rodriguez. And Victor Rodriguez has been KO'd recently. But Victor is going to have the 3-year youth advantage, the 1-inch height advantage, and a 2-inch reach advantage. The better record, but he is going to have negative striking here. And he doesn't train with Henry Cejudo like Bruno does. And Bruno has been getting better. He's been getting better. Possibly a late bloomer, but he does have negative striking. Last time he was KO'd was 5 years ago. And in his last fight, I dogged him and was like, he's not going to win, and he proved me wrong. And honestly, he looked really good. He is going to have the takedown threat here, and I think he can mix it up enough to beat Victor in this one. So let's go with Bruno. All right, in the next fight, we got Joshua Culibao. All right, the next fight, we got Joshua Culibao, whatever the fuck it is, versus Shea Elan. And, Josh, we've seen him before, and he's actually a pretty good fighter. He's a pretty good fighter. He's like the best one at his camp, if I'm not mistaken. But he does have negative striking in this, but he fights better than that, I'd honestly say. And he's going to have the 1-year youth advantage and the 1-inch height advantage. And I don't know anything about this other guy. Somebody else might. I didn't look it up. I just know that the Chinese fighters aren't that great, and I also know that with the exception of women, kind of like the male fighters, I should say. But this person's record isn't that great. They don't have a pitcher. I'm just gonna go with Josh in this one for sure. All right, in the next fight, we got Yancy Medeiros versus Damir Hadzovic. And Yancy, he's the training partner / punching bag for Max Holloway. And I've never been a big fan of Yancy. I think he sucks. He went through a fat stage and then a skinny stage, and I don't know. I just don't think he's a fighter. I just think he's a training partner. He's got the 1-year youth advantage, the 5.5 reach advantage. Loves to lose, and he's chinny, Yancy. But he is going to have the better volume here as well. Like, it looks like the things are kind of lining up for Yancy to win this fight. And Damir, he sucks. He's got worse volume, almost negative striking, not that great of a record. Both these guys kind of suck, and I don't really care about this fight, but we'll go with Yancy by favoritism of the judges. All right, in the next fight, we got Raphael Alves versus Damir Ismagulov. Jesus. And Damir, he's a beast, man. If anything, he's one of the best fighters on this card, and they're kind of just sneaking him over here just to build his record even more. The dude is a beast. He could be fighting a better person. The only thing he's not going to have going for him, apparently, is the submission. But Raphael is low volume. He's kind of weak, negative striker. And Damir is going to have the volume advantage, the reach advantage, the height advantage, the striking advantage, the takedown advantage, everything advantage. So Damir in this one. All right, the next fight, we got Stephanie Ager versus Sarah Alpar. And I saw that it might have been somebody else, but this is just a sloppy fight, so stay away from it. Whoever Sarah's going to be fighting, if it's Stephanie, if it's somebody else, I'll probably go with Sarah. She's sloppy, though. She's so sloppy. So, who knows? I'd say pass on that one. But let's win some money this week, guys.